is here. This was put up by Beth Ann Nichols. It says, how big is Caitlin Clark on the LPGA? Last year, according to media data tracked by Gamebridge, there were 395 television segments that mentioned Caitlin Clark and the Annika. On the Pro-Am day alone,
Okay, this is absolutely wild. Caitlin Clark just shattered every golf record in existence, and the numbers are so insane that the LPGA is basically begging her to come back. We're talking 59.91% increase in viewership. But here's the kicker. While the LPGA is rolling out the red carpet, the WNBA is still pretending she's just another player. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this one golf appearance just exposed the biggest mistake in women's sports history. And trust me, once you see these numbers, you can't unsee what's really happening here.
2,693 posts on X mentioning Caitlin Clark playing in the Pro-Am that generated 241,000 engagements and 18 million impressions. Damn, that's them big girl numbers. Them big girl numbers. The tournament's Instagram account saw a 591% increase in views year over year, while the tournament's website saw traffic increase by 121%.
Let me break this down for you because these numbers are genuinely mind-blowing. Last year, the Annika Pro-Am got 95 television segments total. That's for the entire event. Caitlin Clark shows up for one day, not even playing competitively, just a Pro-Am round, and generates 2,693 posts on X alone. That's not over a week. That's not over a tournament. That's one single day. The engagement, 241,000 interactions. The impressions, 18 million eyeballs. And get this, the tournament's Instagram account exploded by 59.81% compared to last year. Their website traffic jumped 11%. You know what's crazy? The LPGA immediately recognized what they had. They saw those numbers and thought, we need more of this. Meanwhile, the WNBA spent an entire season acting like Caitlin was just part of an ensemble cast.
Viewership, as we've seen her do over and over in the WNBA. The WNBA seems to be the only league to not appreciate it, though. They seem to be the only league that want to make it about people, others, you know, and that's just not the players that like Angel Reese who scream "Me Too" when they can't even get ratings without Caitlin Clark. The WNBA, they seem to want to push people like Paige Beckers, who's a great player, but she had the third lowest attendance in the league. She can't put butts in seats. They'd rather try to make it about these people than be honest and say what it truly.
Did you catch that frustration in his voice? Because this is the pattern nobody wants to talk about. Every Sendley league that touches Caitlin Clark experiences the same phenomenon. Record-breaking viewership, sold-out venues, social media explosions. But only the WNBA refuses to acknowledge it. And here's what that actually means. It's not ignorance at this point. It's a deliberate choice. Think about the psychology behind this. When someone brings unprecedented success to your organization, the natural human response is gratitude and protection of that asset. But when you actively diminish that person's impact, that's ego. That's insecurity. That's fear that acknowledging one person's dominance somehow diminishes everyone else. The LPGA doesn't have that problem. They saw Caitlin for one day and immediately started planning how to build a long-term relationship. They mentioned Steph Curry and YouTube golf. That's strategic thinking. That's understanding that crossover stars don't hurt your sport. They elevate it.
Trying to get paid now in the WNBA based on Caitlin Clark's numbers that she brought in and things like that. They'd rather try to lie and convince themselves that it is about other people, which is absolutely disgusting. And here it says LPGA will be smart to continue to grow relationship in the same way. YouTube Golf is building one with Steph Curry. She can absolutely move the needle. You see that? You see that? LPGA will be smart to continue to grow the relationship the same way YouTube Golf is built.
Okay, but here's where this gets really interesting. He mentions Angel Reese screaming "Me Too" while not being able to generate ratings without Caitlin. He brings up Paige Beckers having the third lowest attendance, despite being pushed as a superstar. These aren't random examples. This is the WNBA's entire strategy imploding in real time. They've been trying to manufacture multiple stars to avoid dependence on one player. Sounds reasonable, right? Except you can't manufacture star power. You can't force fans to care about someone just because you want them to. The market decides. And the market has spoken so loudly that even golf, a completely different sport, can measure Caitlyn's impact in triple-digit percentage increases. What's even more insane is the timing. This golf appearance happened right after the WNBA season ended. Caitlyn could have taken a break. Instead, she shows up to golf, and the entire sports world tunes in. That's not luck. That's gravitational pull.
Just might at this point. It might not be no damn WNBA. We're hoping it is, but it might not even be no WNBA. So she might be golfing full time. Who knows? Who knows? It says, just gotta hope LPGA leadership learns from the mistakes the WNBA has made as far as making every new eyeball go through a woke struggle session. Hopefully the new people can just show up and enjoy the golf and not get preached at. Wow.
Listen closely to how he words this. It might not be no WNBA. That's not a joke anymore. That's a genuine possibility people are starting to consider. And if you've been paying attention, you'd know why. The LPGA just demonstrated something powerful. They can give Caitlyn what the WNBA won't: respect, recognition, appreciation. Now, I'm not saying Caitlyn's gonna quit basketball and become a professional golfer. But let me tell you something. When you're the most marketable athlete in women's sports, and one league treats you like a problem while another treats you like the solution, you start having conversations. You start exploring options. The WNBA is playing a dangerous game here. They think Caitlyn needs them more than they need her. But this golf appearance just proved that anywhere Caitlyn goes, the audience follows. She's not dependent on basketball. Basketball is dependent on her.
Let's take a look at this Yahoo article that's speaking about this whole situation, man. Caitlyn Clark, I mean, up 591%, up 121%. I mean, it's crazy what she's able to do. I mean, it's just spectacular. It says, Indiana Fever star Caitlyn Clark knows teammates are important. That's an essential skill in basketball where you need to put your faith and trust in the 4 other players on the court. That's less important in a relatively solo game like golf, but Clark still found a way to get her teammates involved in the festivities. When Clark showed up to take part in the Annika Pro-Am on Wednesday.
You gotta hear how casual she sounds here. She's not trying to make a statement. She's not doing some big publicity stunt. Caitlyn's literally just playing golf with her teammates as caddies, having fun, and somehow that generates more buzz than most WNBA playoff games. That should terrify WNBA leadership. Because what it reveals is that people aren't just interested in Caitlyn Clark, the basketball player, they're interested in Caitlyn Clark, the person, her authenticity, her competitiveness, her ability to make any situation feel like an event. Watch how her teammates interact with her in these clips. There's genuine friendship there. Genuine support. These are the same teammates the media tried to convince us resented her success. But when the cameras aren't looking for drama, when it's just about having a good time, everyone wants to be around Caitlyn. Everyone wants to support her. That's leadership that can't be manufactured.
That wasn't bad.
Guys, this is bad.
So, I haven't hit a golf club in months.
You got it. I would back up, and I'm not kidding. I killed a squirrel the last time I did this. Oh my god, this is so bad.
You got this.
This is making me nervous. Sorry. Yeah, guys, come on! Let's go! Oh, is that bad? Shit! Come on, guys! Is that bad?
Nope.
Oh no! Oh no! You got it, girl. Happy Gilmore.
Did you catch that energy? Even when she's not hitting perfect shots, the crowd is completely locked in. They're encouraging her. They're invested in every swing. This is what the WNBA doesn't understand. Caitlyn's appeal isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity and effort. She finished tied for 36th in this Pro-Am. Not first. Not even top 10. And somehow that failure generated more positive press than most WNBA victories. You know why? Because people relate to someone trying something new and struggling a bit. That vulnerability makes her more compelling, not less. The WNBA has spent decades trying to present women's basketball as flawless and serious and worthy of respect. And it barely moved the needle. Caitlyn shows up, misses some golf shots, laughs with her friends, and breaks the internet. There's a lesson there about what audiences actually want versus what leagues think they should want.
That's lit, man. Caitlin Clark doing it again, man.
Now connect the dots here because this is where everything comes together. The LPGA's response to Caitlin's appearance wasn't just thanks for coming. They immediately started talking about building a long-term relationship. They compared her to Steph Curry's impact on YouTube golf. That's not casual conversation. That's strategic planning happening in public. They're sending a message: we see your value, we appreciate your impact, and we want to grow together. Meanwhile, what's the WNBA's message been? Caitlin gets Rookie of the Year, but the narrative is, well, she had a great supporting cast. She breaks viewership records, but the story becomes women's basketball is rising, without mentioning who's lifting it. She sells out arenas, but we're told fans just want to see good basketball. It's gaslighting on an organizational level. And the problem with gaslighting is eventually people stop believing you and start believing their own eye. Here's what most people are missing in all of this. The LPGA's embrace of Caitlin isn't just good business for golf. It's psychological warfare against the WNBA. Every article about the 59.1% increase, every social media post about the record engagement, every comment about how grateful the LPGA is for Caitlin's presence. These are all indirect messages to WNBA leadership. You're fumbling the bag, and you know what's beautiful about this. The LPGA doesn't have to trash talk the WNBA directly. They just have to publish the numbers and let the comparison speak for itself. Think about what this does to Caitlin's negotiating position. When her next WNBA contract comes up, she's not just a basketball player anymore. She's a proven cross-sport phenomenon. She's someone who can generate 59.1% increases in engagement wherever she goes. That's not athlete value. That's brand empire value. But here's the kicker nobody's talking about yet. This golf appearance might have accidentally revealed the WNBA's biggest vulnerability. For years, the league has operated under the assumption that they're the only game in town for elite women's basketball players. Where else are you gonna go? Overseas leagues pay well but don't have the exposure. The US is the premier market, so players have to accept whatever the WNBA offers. Except Caitlin just proved that's not true anymore. She can generate massive American audiences in a completely different sport. If she wanted to, she could probably create her own basketball exhibition series, partner with a streaming platform, and pull better numbers than regular season WNBA games. She doesn't need the WNBA's infrastructure. The infrastructure needs her, and the moment that power dynamic becomes obvious to everyone, the entire negotiation framework changes. You can literally see the moment when that putt drops, and the crowd erupts. That's not polite golf clapping. That's people genuinely excited to see Caitlin succeed at something she's not even professionally trained for. And if that doesn't tell you everything about her appeal, I don't know what will. The WNBA has spent this entire year trying to contextualize Caitlin's success. Well, she plays for a good team. Well, she gets a lot of possessions. Well, the marketing machine is behind her. But this golf appearance stripped away every excuse. No basketball skills involved. No professional training. No team carrying her. Just Caitlin being Caitlin. And somehow that's enough to generate numbers that make the LPGA's entire marketing department look like geniuses for inviting her. What's the psychological term for this? Authentic charisma. You either have it or you don't. You can't learn it. You can't fake it. And you definitely can't diminish it by pretending it doesn't exist. Let me tell you something that's gonna make you see this whole situation differently. The WNBA's resistance to acknowledging Caitlin's unique impact isn't just about ego or politics. It's about fear of precedent. Because if they admit that one player is responsible for the majority of their growth, what happens to everyone else's contract negotiations? What happens to the "we're all in this together" narrative that's been holding the league's salary structure together? Suddenly you've got one player who deserves $10 million a year based on revenue generation, and everyone else making league minimum. That's not sustainable from a team chemistry perspective. So instead, they've chosen to pretend the growth is collective. The problem, the evidence is too overwhelming. When Caitlin plays, ratings skyrocket. When she doesn't, they crash. When she appears at a golf tournament, engagement explodes by at some point, denying reality becomes more damaging than accepting it. And we might be watching that breaking point happen in real time. You're probably thinking, okay, but what's the actual end game here? Great question, because this isn't just about one golf tournament or one season of basketball. This is about the future of women's sports marketing. For decades, the model has been build the league, hope stars emerge. Leverage collective growth. Caitlyn's flipping that script entirely. She's proving that in the social media age, one transcendent personality can carry an entire sport. Look at what she's done for women's basketball. Look at what she just did for women's golf. Now imagine if she decided to try soccer, or tennis, or started a YouTube channel. Every sport and platform is suddenly thinking, how do we get Caitlin Clark involved? That's not athlete power. That's cultural influence. And the WNBA is slowly realizing they might not be able to contain or control it. Here's where it gets even crazier. The LPGA's public gratitude toward Caitlin is creating social pressure on the WNBA. Fans are making direct comparisons. Why does golf appreciate Caitlin more than basketball does? That's a devastating question, because there's no good answer. The WNBA can't say we do appreciate her, because their actions prove otherwise. They can't say basketball is different, because the numbers show Caitlin's impact is even bigger in basketball. So they're stuck in this weird position of hoping everyone just forgets about the comparison, except the internet never forgets. Every time the WNBA makes a decision that seems to minimize Caitlin, someone's gonna bring up the golf numbers. Every time they push another player as the face of the league, fans are gonna ask why they're ignoring the person who actually moves the needle. This golf appearance didn't just break records. It created a permanent reference point that makes the WNBA's strategy look increasingly absurd. What happens next? Does the WNBA finally acknowledge reality and build their entire marketing strategy around Caitlin? Or do they double down on the collective success narrative and risk losing her to other opportunities? Because make no mistake, after generating 59.91% increases in golf, Caitlin knows exactly what she's worth. And the question isn't whether she'll demand to be treated accordingly. The question is whether the WNBA is ready to accept what that treatment looks like.